In February 2024, Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg issued an apology to the families for the adverse effects of social media on the mental health of children. Zuckerberg and other tech CEOs were accused of having blood on their hands for failing to stop their platforms become a playground for social predators. Now fast forward to May 2024 when the world of social media is completely occupied with the world's biggest dance of democracy, the Lok Sabha General Elections 2024. The social media is filled with an overflow of content from creators like Dhruv Rathi expose PM Modi, Ravish Kumar's explainers on the government policies and big rallies, big news channels taking interviews of PM Modi, and many videos that are flooding and silently poisoning the minds of voters while there is something creeping behind the scenes that are changing the winds of election. AI manipulated ads. We have got a pretty explosive topic to discuss. Meta, the company that owns Facebook and Instagram, has been found approving AI manipulated political ads during India's election. These ads spreading disinformation and even incited religious violence. This was reported exclusively by the paper called Guardian. This is really disturbing. According to the report, these ads were created by India's Civil Watch International and ECO. They wanted to test Meta systems to see if they could detect and block harmful content. The results were, shocking. Out of 22 ads they submitted, 14 were approved. These ads contained hate speech and false information targeting Muslims and other political leaders. For instance, some of the language used was incredibly inflammatory, like "let's burn the vermin" and "Hindu blood is spilling, these invaders must be burned." And even more concerning, these ads included AI manipulated images. Despite Meta's pledge to prevent such content, their systems failed to catch it. They allowed these ads to go through, which is really alarming. The timing here is crucial because these ads were submitted during India's 6-week election period. This election will decide if Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his BJP party will get a third term. The BJP has been accused of using anti-Muslim rhetoric to gather the votes. And Meta did respond to this, saying that advertisers must comply with their policies and go through an authorization process for political ads. They emphasized that they remove content that violates their standards, including AI-generated content. But clearly, this system isn't foolproof. Mai Hamad from ECO called out Meta, saying that the platform profits from hate speech and allows dangerous content to spread with little scrutiny. Now, this report really puts Meta's ability to manage such issues under the microscope. It's worrying because if Meta can't handle this is one of the world's largest elections, how can we trust them in other critical elections globally? This isn't the first time they have been accused of failing to stop the spread of harmful content. Nick Clegg, Meta's president of global affairs, even described the Indian election as a huge test for them. He mentioned months of preparation and expanding their network of fact-checkers across 20 Indian languages. But it seems like those efforts weren't enough. This whole situation raises big questions about the effectiveness of social media platforms in safeguarding electoral integrity. We need to see better systems in place, not just promises. Meta isn't the only platform under scrutiny. On April 2nd, a report by the human rights body Global Witness claimed that the YouTube cleared 48 advertisements portraying violence and voter suppression. These ads somehow passed YouTube's electoral quality check filters. And similar to the Meta situation, these ads also use generative AI content. ECO's investigation highlighted how quickly and easily this technology can be deployed to amplify harmful content. It's a growing problem. As generative AI becomes more advanced, it's going to be even harder for platforms to distinguish between legitimate content and harmful disinformation. Both Meta and the YouTube need to set up their game significantly. Now let's break this down further. What exactly happened with YouTube? The report by Global Witness revealed that 48 ads were approved despite portraying violence and voter suppression. That's a huge number, and it suggests that YouTube's electoral quality check filters are not as robust as they need to be. Now, these ads were designed to test YouTube's ability to detect harmful content, much like the Meta test, and just like Meta, the results were disheartening. Now, fact that these ads pass through the YouTube's filters indicates serious gaps in their content modernization systems. It is also important to note the use of generative AI in these ads. Now, this technology can create highly realistic images and videos, making it easier to produce misleading or harmful content. In Eco's investigation, they highlighted how quickly and easily this new technology can be deployed to amplify harmful content. Now, this is a major concern because it shows how AI can be used to spread disinformation on a large scale. And these aren't just hypothetical scenarios. The use of generative AI in these ads is a real-world example of how technology can be weaponized to influence elections and spread harmful narratives. Now, this isn't just about one country or one election. It's a global issue. And it's not just about the technology itself, but also about the platform's ability to manage and mitigate these risks. Both Meta and YouTube have a responsibility to ensure their platforms aren't used to spread harmful content, especially during sensitive times like elections. Now, the broader implication here is that if these tech giants can't handle the challenge of moderating content during elections, it undermines trust in the entire democratic process. Now, people rely on these platforms for information, and if that information is compromised, it can have serious consequences. So, what's the way? Now, what can Meta, YouTube and other platforms do to better handle this issue? Now, there are 3 key steps they need to take. First, they need to invest more in advanced AI and machine learning technologies to better detect and filter out harmful content. Now, this includes recognizing AI manipulated content. Second, they need to expand their networks of human fact checkers and moderators, and particularly those who understand the local context and languages. Now, this is something Meta claimed to have done, but clearly it wasn't sufficient. Third, there needs to be greater transparency. Now, these platforms should publish regular reports on their content moderation efforts and the effectiveness of their systems. Now, this will help build trust and accountability. And finally, collaboration is the key. Now, these companies should work together with the governments, non-profits and other stakeholders to create robust frameworks for content moderation. This isn't a problem that any one entity can solve alone. It's a collective effort. And as users, we also have a role to play in staying informed and being vigilant. We need to critically evaluate the content we see and report anything that seems suspicious or harmful. Now, this is a story that's going to keep developing, and we will be sure to keep you all updated on this. For more such latest news and updates, subscribe to Daily Saala Digital.